Okay, I'm here with Tom Borcherding with Lucy. Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about Lucy and how and why it was founded and some of the new technology that you guys have at ISS?
Okay, great. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate the opportunity. The inspiration behind Lucy is actually a girl in Nashville named Catherine. And Catherine is a power wheelchair user. She has a diagnosis of CP and some visual deficits. And her mother, Jen, and father, Barry, were just concerned about her safety in driving a power wheelchair. That was reinforced when a family member, I'm sorry, a friend of the family who drove the exact same type of power wheelchair as Catherine did, misjudged a ramp and flipped over and had a very severe injury. And that got the parents' attention. And they looked at industry. They actually attended ISS the last time it was in Nashville to try to find a solution for Catherine to make her safe and independent in her power wheelchair, and found that no such solution existed. So Barry Dean, who is a successful songwriter in Nashville, and his brother Jared Dean, who is a successful engineer in Colorado, they set about making a solution for Catherine. So they never intended to start a company. They just wanted to make Catherine safe and successful and confident in her power wheelchair. Flash forward, it worked so well from Catherine, the beta pro or alpha prototype that they built for her, that they decided that there was just such an overwhelming need for safety solutions and smart technology and power wheelchairs that they started the company Luci.
Okay.
So kind of how Luci works is a common question we get. And there's really no magic. It's an amazing system that we're bringing technology from many other industries, including the car industry, into the power wheelchair space. So Luci utilizes three different types of sensors. We utilize cameras, we utilize ultrasonics, and we utilize radar. And those three sensor types work together to give a view of the navigation environment for the wheelchair, looking forward, the sides, and the back. So a 360-degree view of what the rider would encounter in driving a power wheelchair. And what the sensors do is that they identify obstacles and they identify drop-offs, so things that are risk for injuries. So for example, if there is a person in front of a wheelchair, or if there is a pet laying behind the wheelchair, or a baby lying behind the wheelchair, or a wall in front of the wheelchair, Luci will identify those collision objects. And if the driver doesn't react in time to avoid the collision, Luci will jump in and avoid that collision. So it doesn't take over the role of driving, it just prevents an accident from occurring before it would actually occur. And then the same with cutoffs. Luci detects edges, so ramp edges, curbs, steps. And obviously it would be perilous for anyone in a power wheelchair to drive off of a step and tumble off of a step, which is a fairly common problem between steps and ramps. And we set out to solve that by allowing the power wheelchair to drive off of dangerous drop-offs and edges.
Great.
So maybe I can wrap with one story that really hit home
Sure.
to me about Luci and the importance. So recently in St. Louis, I was introduced to a woman, and she asked me what I did, and I told her what Luci was about. And she goes, "Tom, I have to tell you a story." She goes, "My husband, who is recently deceased, but he was a longtime power wheelchair user, and very active in his community, very active. You know, they were going to all sorts of entertainment venues and things. And her story was that she and her husband were going into a theater, and they were going from bright daylight into the darkness of the theater. And they were going down the theater corridor. And because it was dark, her husband didn't see a step that was on the incline down to the step and down to the theater seating. And he tumbled off of that step, was thrown from his power wheelchair, and had a very serious injury resulting from that. She told me the main part of why she shared that story is she said, "Tom, that was the last day my husband was not on a ventilator." So if we could have just prevented that one catastrophic mistake from happening, it would have been incredible to the outcome of their lives. So just thought that would be a story worth sharing about the importance of a solution like Luci.
Yeah, and it's good technology, and and that's what I like about this industry is people just are coming up with this technology just to make a difference. It's like you said, they never intended to form a company; they were just trying to help somebody.
Exactly.
You see that a lot in this industry. Well, Tom, I appreciate your time. If you guys have some extra time, go and visit Luci. They're going to have some product demonstrations, and they'll have videos and downloads at their virtual booth. Thank you for your time, Tom.
I appreciate it, Barry. Thanks.